Rodney really was based off of Chris Wedge's grandfather's Evinrude motor. Chris brought this in and said, you know, I look at this, you know, he saw it in his garage, and he said, this is Rodney. And no matter what color we tried to paint Rodney when we were exploring, if he wasn't that blue-green color, it just wasn't right, because that's what the engine was.
We did something which I think is a really great idea, and that is we brought the game developers here early on in the process, showed them what we were making with the movie, and we got some of our, as you can imagine, in a place like this, there are game geeks galore on the floor. So we've gotten all the game geeks into a room with the game developers, and they jammed on ideas.
When we saw the first test early on, they just had some concept art. They didn't even get the models that we had sent yet, and it was dead on. And some of these games looked at that level already, and that was just the pre-sort of test that they were doing. And then the later versions I've seen of their work, it's amazing. It's almost as good as the movie in a way. It's pretty amazing.
We saw an early demo of the video game that they're doing, and I could not believe what I was looking at, because they had just created this whole other level for robots. They'd taken our characters, then they'd created all these other really cool looking characters based on things that look like they're from our movie, and they put Rodney in this setting, and he's just kicking these other bad guys. He's just like destroying them. I was really blown away by it, actually.
It's fun because they quickly, you see, all of a sudden you see our character being controlled by somebody, by a complete stranger, just moving Rodney around and having him jump and use the watch, like all that stuff is really great.
Early on, we had shown the video game developers the Crosstown Express, how Rodney gets, you know, from the train station to Big Weld Industries, and how we wanted to have fun with, you know, our equivalent of a subway. And they took off on that, in particular the little pod and the way it rolls, and began to develop a technology to actually race these little pods through the streets. And it's a gas to watch, you know, because now you can get in and actually control one of these. They've taken that whole mode of thinking, and they've given the player the ability to kind of zip along through those curved roads, you know, launch yourself off ramps, and it's making a great bit of gameplay.
We're using the exact same models, so the game will look and feel like the movie. And this is kind of an unprecedented thing. The share of technology between the game company and the production company is something that the game company has never experienced before. And so it's gonna tie the movie and the game closer together in ways that, you know, just kind of unprecedented.